Hi there! Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. So we're taking a deeper look into what do you need to know right now by looking into the energy that we need to receive, what we need to release, the recommended action from Spirit, and what we're working on healing. We have two piles. So pile one, we have this pink stone in the Hidden Light Tarot. And pile two with this clear pointed stone with the 8th house tarot. So you can pause it if you need some more time to pick your pile. But we'll just get right into it. Starting with pile one here. So like I just said, we're looking into what we need to receive, release, the recommended action, what we're working on healing at this time. Too much spirit. Wow, so we have the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Just going to double check that. We have the 8 of Wands. So, whatever is happening here, it's kind of like been building up for a while and it's all kind of happening really quickly. What I'm getting from this is like a sudden change or shift, like causing you to change course or change direction very unexpectedly. But it's like all at once. There's kind of no coming back, or it's like all at once becomes really obvious you can't go in that direction anymore. So with both piles, I'm going to be getting clarity out of my deck that I made myself. So on the bottom of the deck, we have my Ace of Cups in the reverse, which is like clarifying empty cup, or it's clarifying that the if someone is making some sort of offer or some sort of emotional offer, it's not coming from a genuine place. It's like an empty offer, lacks substance. It's not, or lacks depth, or it's not really going to lead to a long-term emotional investment. It's more of like a presentation. um it's like over time you're going to realize they don't actually have a lot to say or a lot of follow through, or again just like it doesn't grow to like that deeper place. It's like there's potential, but then it just doesn't, yeah, like ever get to that like deeper, more comfortable level. So this realization could come in really quickly. It's like you've made yourself really vulnerable in some way. So it could be in regards to a relationship, or It could be really anything, right? But in some way you've like really let your guard down and been kind of vulnerable or just been all in, um kind of charging ahead or charging forward towards something. And there's some sort of like news or information, or there's going to be something that like kind of falls into your lap, or it's almost like you stumble upon it is what I'm picking up on, and you learn something really really quickly here. um, some sort of news or information that really quickly like throws you off, causes you to change course, change direction. uh, it's like some sort of sudden realization or something coming out here, being revealed very quickly or suddenly, leads you to realize like how emotionally vulnerable you left yourself in the situation or something. And so it's like, um, even before you have time to fully process like the way that you feel, you're going to have to kind of gather your bearings and like find a way to reroute or navigate through this, if that makes sense. Yeah, find a way to move forward in a better way. Or it's like you're very quickly going to realize like this isn't going in the direction that I thought it would, or to the place that I thought it would, or like it doesn't have that depth or that substance. And so it becomes like dangerous. Like with this ship here, I was saying like it's like some sort of emotional offer, but then you realize it never gets to that like deeper place. Yeah, it never really goes anywhere. And so it's like you can't, whatever you're trying to bring through this, it's like you realize like this is too shallow, so it's like unsafe for you. So it's like really quickly you have to like course correct and go in a different direction in order to protect yourself. So the boat here, not being able to navigate shallow waters safely, is like a metaphor for, um, you realize that the situation is like more rocky than you had perceived or been led to believe. And so you're getting like hung up or jammed up emotionally, because again, it's like you let your guard down and became fully vulnerable here, and it actually ended up being like more turbulent or just like dangerous or harmful or hurtful in some way. So we're going to get a little further. So the receive energy, we have the Fool here. And then the Eight of Wands, clarifying again. So you may have been scared to like go in a new direction, or yeah, like take something new, some sort of new approach on, but because of whatever's happening, it's like you're going to um throw yourself into this, or like throw yourself into something new really really quickly, or adjust or adapt, um like really quickly. Ooh, we have release, we have justice. Ooh, King of Wands stepping to the plate, and my Queen of Pentacles, like homemaker, GG. So there's this energy of like that comfort, like that's emotional stability and comfort. There could be this like resistance to change course, or to be willing to switch things up, or kind of like go in a new direction or take this different approach, because there's this feeling of it's like you're abandoning the situation. And so you feel like you're almost like giving up, or there's no, it's like there's this energy of like, well, there's no justice in that. It's like you feel like you're not gonna get what you deserve if you just like move forward and start over in something new with someone else, or like you move in this other direction that you were kind of like scared to go in. It's like in your perception right now, you're perceiving that as like a loss, or like you being disempowered in some way. Um, when in reality, it's like you were misled into this certain situation or these certain dynamics, or misled into acting in such a way to like make yourself vulnerable to this certain situation, and you've had to like navigate it the best you could and like overcome, move forward, kind of like recover yourself. And so choosing to like be really brave and like start again, or start something new, or put yourself out there again, um it's not like the loss that you perceive it as. I'm getting this energy of like you feel like it looks like you're taking like an L in some way, or it looks like you're not getting the justice that you deserve, or things are just like not fair. But it's like you have to trust spirit too. That's what I'm getting with this King of Wands here, this like stepping to the plate, status, integrity. It's like if you are the one to create justice in the situation, then you're going to disrupt your own peace, or like disrupt or disturb your own ability to like take care of yourself and be really secure, or to like call in a really secure and stable relationship. It's like you have to trust in spirit to create justice in the situation, or to be the one to like um, step in, especially if it's like the situation you're having to move away from. If there's a level of like status to that person or that situation, there's like this feeling of like, you feel as though you're like disempowered and forced to like remove yourself or walk away, um and just kind of start over on your own. And then yeah, there's this energy of like, then they don't get what they deserve. Um, so there's like no justice in this situation. But it's like if you're the one to give them what they deserve, like if you're the one holding the knife, then it almost like comes back on you like in this negative way, or then it brings like negative karma into your life. And so then there's not actually justice in that. It's like you choosing to move forward and just start something new for yourself, and just like trusting spirit to handle the situation for you. It's I'm hearing here that's like spirit's going to be the only one that can step in and like handle this, or like remove them from some sort of status, or like reveal what needs to be revealed in order to create justice in the situation. Is kind of out of your hands or out of your control, or it's like bigger than you, if you will. This person's dealing with like a higher level of karma than what you're equipped to handle or deal with. It's like you don't need any of that like coming back on you. Like I said, you don't want to like disturb your peace or your ability to like call in like a really comfortable and secure relationship for yourself, where you're going to feel really well balanced and well taken care of. So yeah, you don't want to try to like swing the scales back in order like on your own, or like take it into your own hands, if you will. You want to like trust that spirit is going to work in the situation and keep you in mind and like work in your favor. And you just choosing to like be brave, move forward, dive into something new, go into like a new direction, it doesn't make you look bad. It just makes you look like you're like choosing to continue to like take a chance on life, or put yourself out there, go after new experiences, learn, grow, just like do more. It's like a very positive thing. But also it's like you shouldn't worry so much about like how other people perceive what you're doing, and just kind of like know in your heart that like you're doing the best that you can. And sometimes you have to put yourself out there, sometimes you have to start over again, sometimes you have to see what's going on in front of you, and course correct or switch up really quickly, or realize that you were like being kind of misled, or you allowed yourself to be too vulnerable at one point. Like this is all just kind of like a natural part of like living and growing and overcoming things. And yeah, it's the lessons or the experience of the inner journey is more important than how other people perceive what you're going through. It's like spirit is like working in everyone's own life individually to get them to that point to see things in the way that we all kind of need to for our best like growth and healing. So you just have to trust in spirit to like fight your battles. You can't be so um concerned about certain things, like especially what other people think of you or how they perceive you. Something I'm hearing. um So, wow, it's crazy. I was just saying that. So, the recommended action in the situation, we have the Four of Swords. And the way that this card depicts the Four of Swords, I'm getting this energy of like self defense, like needing to kind of stand your ground, or it's almost this energy of like needing to, okay, so you may have recently went through a situation where someone kind of like stabbed you in the back or someone hurt you or something, like obviously, right, something was revealed to you in some way to where you're like, wow, I have to really kind of course correct. But on top of that, like this could have been like a romantic situation or like a work situation or something, but then on top of that you could have recently went through something kind of hurtful in regards to your friends, with like them showing their true colors, as far as like them either being on this other person's side or like them contributing to like teaming up with this other person to help you or something here, um where there was like um yeah, some sort of people kind of like going behind your back and like connecting and doing something to like hurt you or almost kind of conspire against you or something. So it's like now spirit is recommending, it's like you just want to kind of isolate yourself and heal from this, without like hurting anyone else, but it's like, or also without allowing anyone else in to like hurt you again. So it's like there's this need to just like really recover from the recent like pain that you've went through here, and uh because yeah, we have Three of Cups in the reverse, clarifying with false friends. I'm sorry, I got lost right in the middle of my thought. Yeah, there's, okay, so it's like because you were so emotionally vulnerable, is like allowed other people to have the power to kind of like team up or conspire, like work against you in some way in order to hurt you, or there was something that is like you were giving other people the power to hurt you in some way because you like were maybe unaware of like them being jealous of you, or like they're low key like weird vibes. But there's, okay, so it's like because this other situation here was more kind of like surface level, or there wasn't a lot of depth to it, or there's something not quite genuine about this. It's like this other person maybe didn't have the serious intentions to hurt you, but then they opened themselves up to like work with people who did have ulterior motives to hurt you. um so it almost like took things to another level or something. Really interesting and specific. So it's like the, yeah, the best way to move forward here is like not to try to get any sort of revenge or like hurt the people that have hurt you, or like even really like fight with these people here. It's like just find a way to protect yourself and keep yourself safe and find a way to like move forward into something new, or be brave enough to like put yourself back out there again in like a new direction, kind of set sail in a new direction here, and then keep your guard up and keep like certain people away from you that have like kind of proven themselves to be like hurtful or just shown their true colors in some way. There's this energy of like being jealous of the opportunities that you have in your life, and so they wanted to almost sabotage you in some way. And then yeah, with the Eight of Wands, it's like everything kind of lined up because you were already kind of like emotionally overwhelmed or like overextended, from this other situation not really going in the direction that you wanted it to. It's like everything lined up or synced up, or it's like all these different, um, yeah, it's like people who weren't really your friend or didn't really have your back, but then had a lot of like access to you, like all coming together, to collaborate or like work with another person who is misleading you or something. So because of this, that could have been what makes it so difficult to just like move forward again, to put yourself back out there in some way, is because there's this extreme distrust now, or this energy of like not knowing who you can trust moving forward. Um you may not even know like which direction to go in, but spirit is just saying just put yourself out there and just kind of like go for it. Because it's like, yeah, you can't let like certain other people's actions influence like the way that you see other things or kind of show up in relationships or just in general moving forward. So with the Four of Swords, it's like really needing to kind of like heal and recover from the like recent pain, that you've went through in regards to all of this, like kind of coming together at the same time or like all at once. It's like everything kind of hit the fan like all at once, and then later you start to put it together and you realize like maybe that wasn't a coincidence, like maybe everything was kind of like all connected. And it sounds kind of like overly paranoid or whatever, but if you've had like certain people around you who've been kind of like spiteful or vindictive, or it been in like a jealous type of energy or went behind your back before, it's like your intuition could be right. So there's this need to like, it's like once you kind of recover from the situation emotionally, then you start to gain perspective. But because these people have like affected you so much, then that's where the perspective is coming from of like, oh, like I like by me moving forward and putting myself out there again, like I look like the one that lost. Like you've been kind of like emotionally manipulated to feel like you need to stay in the situation and fight in order to be able to like come out on top, in order to gain your power back. But that's like exactly what the other person wants you to believe or like wants you to fall into. So then you stay in this cycle of like never being able to like truly move forward or heal, or like not allow this to like affect, like allow them to influence you or affect you or have any sort of some sort of like power over you, if that makes sense. So it's like the more that you just put your guard up and get like a distance between all of these people and all of this stuff, and anyone who's had any sort of like a weird or negative influence over you or made you feel like insecure, right? It's like these other people are actually insecure, so they're trying to project that onto you so that you won't have the confidence to be able to just move forward and start over again, start a new cycle, like just remove yourself from this. It's like they want you to kind of like fall on your sword and try to be the one to like go after them or something, is so that they could like turn it back on you in order to expose you, because they're jealous of like the opportunities that come your way, or it's like your resilience and your ability to like put yourself out there and like start again or move forward. Or it's like how it's like once you put yourself out there again and move forward again, you will like meet new people that are so drawn to you or support you or like you so well. And so these people try to like stay in your life in order to stay in this cycle of like constantly triggering you into like self-sabotage energy, or um but yeah, because you were in that, then like your energy was also just attracting these like more surface level types of relationships that were actually like harmful to you and like not going in like a healthy direction, because your perception was being so influenced as far as like where you should go or like what you should do, if that makes sense. So all of your choices were being dictated out of that. So even in this situation here, it's like once the more you heal and remove yourself from this, the more you see that it's like the best way to actually take your power back from this is to just again put yourself out there, just move forward, not even care what anyone else thinks about you. It's like trust in spirit to work in the situation to create karma or like justice for those people that like they'll um spirit will like karma will come back on them in any way that it needs to. It's like you don't need to like continue to fight this battle, but again, it's like you've been like mentally messed with to put in this like insecurity energy to feel like you almost have to like reclaim your power in this situation, and it's like taking an L to just like move forward, start over again, put yourself out there again, when in reality it's actually the opposite. It's like the strong thing to just like completely that's how you get your power back, is to just like completely remove yourself from the situation and then like trust in spirit to create justice or to work in the situation in the way that it needs to, so that you can look back on it and be like, oh, okay, like everyone kind of like got what they deserved in the situation, or was it karma doesn't miss. Sometimes it just takes like a little longer. It's like not in our timing, but it's also not in our control, right? It's like, we're not in control of like the lessons that people learn, or it doesn't make us like look better, or it doesn't do any more for us to like be the one to kind of teach someone a lesson or to like reveal a truth about someone. You can trust in spirit to like fight those battles for you, and just keep like the intention in your heart of like what you know to be true, and have the confidence to put yourself out there, move forward again, go in a new direction, put yourself out there with new people. But I'm also getting, it's like once you have the confidence to do that, that's really what's going to take your power back in the situation, because it's going to literally like shock the other person. It's like it'll be like the most unexpected um, thing to the other person, is for you to just like not really care and to just like disengage and to heal and just like move forward and start a new cycle for yourself, and no longer give these same people the access to you that like worked in the situation in order to help you be like hurt or whatever. Like I'm getting, it's like it could be like friends or family around you or something. It's like in the like a third party energy around you, that it's like now moving forward you're not going to be like is vulnerable to like let those people in, so then they don't have that same type of power in your life or in your relationships, or just in the dynamics of your life moving forward, in order to like hurt you in some way. So now that you have seen like certain people's true colors, or you're not giving, you're not as open or vulnerable to these certain people around you, then there's nothing that anyone else could like use um based off of like what's around you in order to like get in and get close to you in order to hurt you. Because like the only people that are around you or close to you now are like people that spirit has like chosen to be in your life or have guided to be in your life. Spirit's like worked to help to reveal all of this stuff, to remove these people because they didn't have like the right intention in their spirit. So spirit's um like in the long run like protecting you from getting even more hurt by these people or these situations. um so with the Knight of Wands, with this here, you can kind of see like I hope you can see. It's like this person is uh, defending themselves. They're charging in to fight their battle, right? Or get some sort of justice for themselves. And so, again, like what's being healed in the situation is knowing that, like, you don't have to defend yourself. Even like you don't even have to work like stand your ground like that. You can just remove yourself and move forward and trust in spirit to fight those battles for you. So we literally have divine intervention, justice. So yeah, like trust that spirit is going to help you to overcome the situation and carry you forward. But also it's like, yeah, justice is certain here. It's just sometimes it takes time and you just have to trust in spirit to be the one to wield that power or fight those battles in divine timing, right? The spirit will intervene in these other people's lives in the right way, in the right timing. So spirit knows more about like the bigger picture, about when it's going to be more impactful to like move in those ways. And so that's why we don't always have all of that information. So we also have denial, refusing to see the two of wands in reverse for me here. So um, it's like there's this energy of like if you don't see karma happening or like justice happening on the surface, it's like moving forward again you feel like disempowered or like you're taking a L or like you're the one that just had to like lose out in the situation and just start over. Like there's this unfair feeling to the situation. It's like just because you can't see everything that's happening, spirit has like the bigger picture here. Spirit has like more um perspective over just like everything all happening in like cohesion with itself and each other. And um so yeah, it's like if you don't see it like in your timing or when you think it should happen or right away or just like on the surface or in 3D, you don't see certain things happening, and so in your mind you're like justice isn't being served. And it's like, yeah, you can't. It's like one, you have to kind of see the more subtle aspects of how spirit's beginning to work in certain ways. And then two, you have to just like trust and have faith that in the right time, spirit's going to come in just the right way, in order to create that true like impact in the situation. So don't allow yourself to get in this bitter energy to where it's like if you don't see it happening right then in the way that it should be, then you're like in denial, if you will, that spirit is working in the situation or is going to work in the situation. Because then once justice is served, it's like you won't even be able to see it or you'll refuse to see it is that because your perception or your perspective over the situation will still be kind of like warped in favor of like how this person wants you to see things in order to always feel like you're in like a disempowered place in comparison to themselves. So yeah, that's like what's being healed overall is like your perception of the situation and your understanding of like yourself versus others versus this person specifically, versus certain people that you were kind of like letting too close or like who you can or can't like trust or let in. Wow. Cave of Comfort, retreat. A time is needed for self care and solitude. This is a time to redirect your life that centers within your heart. The healing starts when you align your mind, body, and soul. So kind of, I feel like that's where this card is saying here. Time is needed for self care and solitude. Time to redirect your life that centers within your heart. Healing starts when you align your mind, body, and soul. I feel like that's what it's like, being willing to put yourself out there and make that redirection. Because spirit could be kind of like forcing you into it, but it's also going to be like guided by like your free will and your ability to like adapt or grow in the situation. This is what's going to help you to heal. Sunshine, optimistic. Let the nourishing sun ray shine upon you. Spread your arms to receive the light and love life has to offer. Good fortune and harmony are on your side. Gentle breeze, delicate. The situation requires a gentle touch of kindness and understanding. You may be dealing with a person or situation that is sensitive. This may include yourself. Handle with care and compassion. I definitely feel like this is in regards to you. But then it also could be like new people that you're meeting moving forward. It's like they could be a lot more sensitive than the people that you're used to dealing with. And so it's a good reminder here. Fly free, detach. You're longing to be untethered from what doesn't serve you any longer. The carefree possibility beckons you to release attachment to outcomes and people. Freedom is yours for the taking. Surrender to the process and let go of expectations. Yeah, that's all I have for pile one. So, thank you so much if you watched this far. If you'd like more personal reading, you can click the link in my description. And I hope you have a really great day. Alrighty. So, pile two, Disappointed Stone, and the 8th House Tarot. So, we're going to look into the energy we need to receive, release, the recommended action, and what we're healing. Too many spirit. Ooh, so we have the World, Saturn, at the bottom of the deck. I just heard Saturn return. Some of you could be in your Saturn return. We have Mars, so it's like, okay, the energy, if you're not going through your Saturn return, this could still apply because it's like, okay, so this tends to happen around the time that you turn 27-ish, 28, and then it lasts until like 32, 3-ish, 31. So when you have a Saturn return, it's similar to like your solar return. Your solar return is where the sun goes back to the same place it was when you were born. That happens once a year, right? So with your Saturn return, that takes like 27 years or so. And so around the time that you're 27, it's like you've been an adult for long enough that you start to feel like you have the swing of things, or that you get the hang of things, right? You start to be like, okay, I've got this figured out. This is the path I'm on. This is the career I chose, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, it's like, going through that Saturn return, it's like, Saturn's lessons and all this stuff that starts to come up. It's like things that you thought you had dealt with and were, in the past, suddenly are now coming up, and you are experiencing like emotions and triggers and just like all kinds of things happening in your life that you're like, I should have this more figured out or dialed in. Like I've been an adult for this long, or I've been doing this for this long, or I've been in this direction for so long. And then you start to realize like there's so much more to uncover and learn. And it's such a crazy time for people, right? And it seems to kind of just like come out of nowhere, like things that you thought you had figured out, or that you had understood, or that you were so sure of. It's like all of a sudden become really unstable, or become really questionable, or you start to question things, or think things, or start to do things you would have never thought or pictured yourself doing. Or it's like you just suddenly um it's like you realize you're not quite to where you thought you were, where you needed to be, or there's more you needed to do, or there's, you hadn't quite learned certain lessons that you thought you had, or you haven't quite mastered certain things. You don't quite have the hang of certain things when you thought you kind of had it all dialed in. It's like when we're young, we kind of like think that we know everything, or we think that we have it all figured out. Um, and then we realize like suddenly and unexpectedly all at once that there's actually a lot more for us to learn, or a lot more for us to experience, or to go through. We're actually, even though we're like so grown, it's like when you're a kid, you spend your whole life like wanting to be an adult. And then when you're an adult, you're like older than, when you're a young adult, you're older than like all the people that are younger than you that are not adults. And then when you get to your late 20s, I feel like it hits you that like even though you're an adult, you're still a young adult, or like you're still early in the stage of adulthood. Like you've only been an adult for like like 10 years or something. And so it's like really not you don't really have the like it's like the equivalent of being like a 10-year-old child, right? It's like you don't really have it, like you're not really all big and all grown up like you think. Or there's this weird like having to like learn certain lessons that you thought you would go through, things you never thought you would have to go through. Learn, yeah, again, like learn lessons where it's like you thought like you were far past that, or like already had that understood, or kind of like dialed in. Or so yeah, I'm just clarifying both piles today with my own personal deck um, that I made before I look at all the cards. Yeah, we have the fatigue. This is my Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So it's like you've been working really, really hard to create a sense of like security or foundation for yourself, and it's like starting to kind of burn out, or realizing that it's like you can't keep up with the amount of work or effort that you have to put into the lifestyle. It's like much more difficult to uphold in the long run than you realize. It's like not sustainable. So it's like you thought you had it all figured out, but then all of a sudden there's something else coming up that's making you realize like this isn't going to last or like work forever. You have to like go in and switch something up. So then you could be having to, it's like whatever else you would spend so much time on, or like invested so much into, is like no longer sustainable or like working out for you. Or it's like the world is kind of like grown past that being like a stable like resource or way of income or whatever it is. And so Now you have to like go back to the drawing board or like switch things up or kind of like start over again, like really unexpectedly. So that's where that energy of like feeling like you're really young in something. So it's like you could be like, say you are like in your late 20s going through a Saturn return, or like say you're in your 40s or 50s or whatever, but then all of a sudden it's like your career like is no longer sustainable, or something is no longer like the same dynamics about however you were moving before. And so then you have to like switch up or do something else, reinvest, start over in some way. And so maybe you have to go back to school, maybe you have to start a new career field or whatever. And so you're like kind of on the bottom. And so then it's like the people around you are like younger in some way, or like less um, equipped as you, or like they're less, they have less experience. Yeah, it's the people around you are like, you have to be in like some sort of environment now where like the people are either literally younger than you age wise, or they're just like emotionally younger than you, like less maturity, less, yeah, like less life experience, just less experience in whatever you're doing. um or like say you were like married for a really long time and then you got divorced and now you're like dating again, and it's like all of the people, even the people your age, are just like younger now because of like social media or whatever. Like everything is like different now and it's like really out of touch. So it's like you have to kind of like start over again in a way that like makes you feel really out of place, or like you have to be around all these people who are again like um, less mature than you, or they have less experience than you in some way. You kind of feel like out of place or like you don't belong, but it's like you kind of have no choice. So that was really specific. Yeah, things are just like shifting really quickly around you, or there's this energy of like the world around you has moved really quickly. So now you feel kind of like insecure with like your place in it in some way. So that could be in regards to like, say you were in one job for a really long time and then now you're trying to find a new job. It's like again, the world has shifted really quickly, technology shifted really quickly, and now the way you did things is no longer, the world's like grown past that. It's like no longer sustainable. And so you have to, yeah, you feel really insecure about your ability to kind of like make it in this like new or different world. It's like everything's more fast paced or quick to adapt to like all this stuff that seems kind of like foreign, or like, yeah, like out of your like realm of understanding or like concept of understanding. So it's like the way that you did things, or the way that you felt comfortable with things, is now kind of like old and tired. So you're having to learn all of these like really fast, uncomfortable lessons with like how quickly the world around you has moved and is still moving. It's like you have to adapt really, really quickly, and you could be very insecure about like your place in this moving forward, because it's like you feel like so much older, or like you feel out of place around all these people who are, like I said, like literally younger than you, or it's like people who have like less experience than you now or something. But it's like even though you perceive them as like more immature, like less experienced or something, you're still like really, really worried about like what they think of you, or like you perceiving them perceiving you as like old or out of touch or something, and you not being able to integrate back into the world. Or so yeah, there's like this insecurity of like how you're going to come across, or how people will like perceive or accept you, like if you'll be able to like keep up with like the world around you now. Because like, yeah, like you're having to move into something that seems more like unstable now, because what was stable is like no longer working out, or like I said, it's like tired, or like used in some way to where it's no longer giving back, or you're no longer able to take care of yourself. It's like used up. Whatever resource you had before is like used up, depleted. um it's like it didn't last as long as you had perceived or thought that it would, but that could be, it's like not your fault. It's like technology has moved so quickly over the past few years that now everything is just like changed. So that could relate to a job or a person. So it's like if it's a job, then um yeah, like you were with that job for so long, and then now everything is just literally so different. The whole job market is so different, even since COVID. Like the past few years, like everything has just changed so much. And then that could also relate to a relationship. Like if you've been in a relationship for however many years, and then you first get out of one, it's like now like online dating is more of a thing. Like the whole dating world is like greatly changed and transformed, and so it would be really uncomfortable and strange to just like step back into that. It's like I there would be this fear, uncomfortability of like, am I going to be able to keep up with like what everybody else is like all about now, and like all of this like online presence and like all the different apps, and it's like a lot. So yeah, it's like whatever you're going through, because it's just like a general reading. I'm just trying to give examples to see how you could take it. So, with the energy that we're needing to receive here, we have Virgo in the reverse. So it's actually the Hermit in the reverse, sorry. And then we have uh, Jack of Pentacles. So, like lack. So with this card, when it's in the reverse, it's like you're making some sort of sacrifice or compromise to a fault that's not benefiting you. So it's like there's this energy. It's like you may be like a very giving, humble like person here, and or so there's this. Yeah, it's like you are like okay. You feel very like out of touch, and so you're trying to be like you're trying to overly accommodate. Where you feel like you yeah, like you're trying to like make up for where you feel like you're lacking in such a way that is actually like then self-sacrificing to a fault, or it's like uh taking too much away from you and preventing you from being able to move forward in the best way for yourself, or to like grow for yourself. So it's like serving others or kind of like giving to others to a fault. It's like a lack of personal boundaries here. Needing to understand that it's like in order to make up for whatever insecurity you have coming into this for whatever reason, then it's like you're you're making yourself like always available, or like yeah, not ever like saying no, or like this energy of like whenever you work from home, you are like you never have hours that you like don't check your email, or that you're like not available. Like it's someone there's someone that's like this energy around you to where you're like compromising your time or your energy to where it's allowing other people to then like take advantage of you. And yeah, there's this like lack of personal boundaries here, or being able to like say no. Like you feel like there's some you feel like you're coming from this like insecure place, so you have to like make up for things, so then you offer up more than you need to, and so then it's just like um kind of like depleting yourself, or just taking from yourself in a way that um you don't need to. So yeah, it's like you feel like you have to make up for certain things, and so you're willing to like give more, or you're not, you feel like you're not in a position to be able to say no or to set those boundaries, because you're like lacking in certain other ways, and so you have to make up for something, and so you need to be like well liked or something. But that's like the thing that's like preventing you or stopping you from being able to move forward really successfully for yourself. um so yeah, it's like have the confidence to like say no and isolate yourself away from things, or to like yeah, be willing to like stay home by yourself, or um be the odd man out sometimes, or do what's best for you, or yeah, say no in order to like take care of yourself or put yourself first, like have those personal boundaries. You don't need to be coming from this place of like, oh well, I'm lacking in some way, and so I have to be willing to make these sort of sacrifices, or oh, like in order for me to like keep up with this world now, I have to like always be like a yes man, or like always be available to others. um it's like that is just kind of showing that again you have like a lack of self-respect, or like a lack of like boundaries for yourself, and then it just shows others that they can like walk all over you or take advantage of you in some way. So then you're not drawing in people that are actually going to give back to you and treat you the way that you deserve, whether that's like a relationship or a job. You're never going to be like treated the way that you deserve if you always have this energy of just like, oh well, I like am old and I don't have the experience or whatever, and so or I'm just starting over or something, and so then you're overly willing to like compromise on certain things, or like make certain sacrifices for the workplace that put you in a position of then lack, because then you're never going to get out of that position of lack in order to feel like you can have those boundaries, or like tell people no, or like demand that you be treated like fairly or the way that you deserve, or to get like certain benefits then back, right? It's like there's this energy of like not even having the confidence to like negotiate what you deserve in a job or a relationship, because you're so in this energy of just like feeling like you need to be the one to make those sort of compromises in order to get into a secure position, where it's like you need to kind of reverse that mindset, and like have other people feeling like they need to be willing to like work with you or compromise with you in order to help meet your needs. It's not just all about like you meeting everyone else's needs. There needs to be like an equal balance of give and take, like both people like sacrificing, not one person like sacrificing to a fault. So yeah, you could have been like, wow, I thought I learned these lessons. I thought I learned how to tell people no. I thought I learned, I thought this was going to be my dream career. I worked so hard to get to this point only to take this job. And then, at first early in your career, like you're like a yes man, or you're like, oh, like I just need to take like any opportunity that comes towards me, or like I need to put in the work or whatever. But then eventually you realize like your needs aren't being met, or like you're being taken advantage of or exploited, or it's like you're not able to have any boundaries, or like say no, um say this is whenever like you're not available to get a hold of me, this is my off time. So yeah, it's like unsustainable, or yeah, there's this energy of like, wow, I thought I had put so much work into this, or I thought I was like so secure, and like this was going to be how I was going to be like secure, take care of myself, or have a good um like life, or like be okay. And then you're realizing you can't. It's like the way that you're putting into something right now is unsustainable over time. It's like you can't keep up with this in the long run. Eventually you'll experience like burnout, or like just not be able to like meet your needs. It's like put yourself in like poverty or something. Uh so with the release, what we need to release, we have the Queen of Air, Queen of Swords, and then my my 10 of Wands, carrying the weight, baggage. So it's like you have been doing other people's dirty work, doing other people's work, carrying the weight for other people, taking on more of your load than you needed to. Yeah, it's like you're giving more people, you're giving others like power over you by allowing them to like put their burdens off on you, and just like carrying the weight, because it's like you felt as though you had to, like whenever you're early in your career, there's this energy of like you just have to take certain things in order to get to a certain position. But then eventually you wake up and realize here like, actually I'm just going to continue to take this person's ish as long as I let them dish it to me. Like I don't need to take on this person's problems, or like take on this person's insecurities, because then that's what's preventing you from finally being able to move forward or break out of the cycle of this person having power over you, or this person being able to control the way that you move or the way that you move forward, or you not being able to like break free from their like games and tactics in order to just like go get something set up for yourself, or to like get to that next level for yourself. It's like then you never break away to like be like a threat to them, or like be like a real competitor to them, because they always have you kind of like under their thumb. They can control like a lot of the information that you have, or like your perspective. So then they know like when you make certain moves, your intention behind it. They know how to like kind of read you, and then um, keep control over you, or always like keep the upper hand, or like win in some way. Yeah, because it's like you're, uh, but yeah, by choosing to kind of like stay engaged with this person, you're then taking on like their issues, fighting their battles. They like manipulate you into making certain moves in order to like fight their battles. It's like at the time you can't see why you're doing certain things. It just feels like you're just like being loyal, or you're just like doing like your duties, or it's like what you have to do, or I can't think of the right word for it right now. Um, but then you could be starting to wake up to realize like this is actually how this person continues to establish power over you, and like always have control over like your next move, or influence over like your next move. um and then in your mind you're thinking it's just like a normal part of like growing up and like through something, or getting to a certain point. But it's like you're never going to like break free from the game, because this other person kind of capitalizes on having that power or control over you, or you like fighting their battles in some way. So it's like your needs are never going to be met in the situation. You're always going to continue to have to like be the one to compromise or sacrifice like what you need in order to like take care of this person, defend this person, like fight their battles in some way. So the recommended action here, we have the Eight of Water with Saturn in Scorpio. So this is with the Eight of Cups, is this energy of like being willing to walk away from something before seeing it fully realized, or seeing it through. It's like even if something's not quite completed, or you haven't gotten to seeing it exactly where you need to, then it's like, yeah, still just being willing to remove yourself or walk away from something. So it could be like a dynamic, a relationship, a power dynamic, or it could be like just like behaviors within yourself that were keeping you like trapped in these cycles. So we also have Saturn and Scorpio. So it's two things with Saturn. It's very interesting. Yeah, with Saturn and Scorpio, there's this like, it's like you were the one inflicting these lessons on yourself, and the only way to break the cycle or to end the cycle is to just be the one to like walk away and remove yourself, and stop allowing this other person access to hurt you, or control the direction that you're going in, so then you can never get away from them like hurting you. Clarifying the Eight of Water here, we literally have my energy vampire and narcissist card. So this is confirming like there is someone here who is literally like siphoning your power away from you on purpose in order to keep you like held down, or there's someone who's purposefully capitalizing on kind of messing with you like energetically and emotionally here. They do have like purposeful intentions to misguide you and mislead you in order to keep you stuck or caught up in these cycles. So to you, you're like, I thought I was past this. I thought I'd move on from this. But it's like because you're giving this other person so much access to your energy or so much influence over the way that you are able to go, being so vulnerable to this person, letting them kind of like know your next move. It's like because you have a soft spot for them, um, or you perceive yourself to like have to like take care of them in some way. Or again, there was that energy of like, oh, because I'm lacking in some ways, I have to like make up for it. So there was like this um, feeling insecure, like needing to like please the other person or be liked by them or something. Um, but this is coming from them manipulating your power away from you. And so when they're the ones with your power, then you feel like that you need them to like you in order to feel secure. But it's like whenever you're in your own power, then you don't care what anyone else thinks about you. You only care about how you feel and what you think about yourself and whether you're like walking your path with spirit. And so, um, yeah, the recommended action here is to just like be willing to just walk away or remove yourself from this, even if it feels like premature, or it's just like know in your heart that like they do have negative intentions and it's not ever going to change or go in a positive direction. Like this is just a cycle that's going to continue to go until you finally say, you know what, this doesn't have any more power over me. This doesn't control me anymore. This doesn't control my life, the direction that I'm going in, and you choose to just like walk away from it. Just remove yourself here. So with what's healing, we have the Two of Fire, um, Mars and Aries. So yeah, with the Aries, it's like this bold, with this here, literally, because I think I said multiple times, like controlling your moves or controlling the direction that you go in. So it's like you're not able to like plan for yourself or decide for yourself, like, what is right for me or what works for me or where do I want to go, where do I want to be, how do I want to do things. It's like you can't even begin to like plan how you're going to get there. Uh, because again, it's like this other person has so much influence over you or so much power over you, so much control over the direction that you're going in. So it's like you didn't even have the like vision to even see yourself like in a different situation or getting out of this at one point. And so it's like healing your ability or healing your realization that you do have the ability, like you do have the control here in the situation to do what's best for yourself or to get yourself in a better position, or you have the control over yourself to change course, change direction, to pick what's right for you or to go wherever is right for you. Like no one else has that control over your life or that power over your life. And if you're in a position where you feel like you need to give someone that in order to like get them to like you or to earn their trust or to like get ahead in some way, then it's like that situation doesn't have the right intentions for you. Yeah, if you're ever in a situation like disempowers you in a way that you feel as though you can no longer move in the ways that you need to in order to take care of yourself or do what's best for you, then that is not, what spirit would have in mind for us. That's not going to bring about like, or that's not a healthy way to like transition from one cycle into the next. It's like, you're not going to be able to end that cycle and get into the next phase because you're, allowing someone else to have so much power over you. And so then that's where it's like things kind of fall apart and they don't work out whenever you do try to go on your own and get into that next phase. And then that's where this energy comes in of like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like I thought I was past this, or I thought I had worked through this, I thought I had this like all figured out. um but again, it's like if you're giving someone else so much power over you, then once you start to like put things into place practically, it can all start to kind of like fall apart. So right now, like the best thing to do is like to just kind of like remove yourself from the situation, or remove like your energy, remove the other person from having so much like power or access to you. And it's like trusting in, because we have justice or divine intervention, um, overcoming, like clarifying this card here. So with the healing, it's like trust that spirit is going to work in the situation to create justice, or to, yeah, like give the other person their karma, or like give them back what they deserve in the situation. So it's like there's nothing that you need to do here to like change things or to fix it. um it's like all you need to do is like move forward, take care of yourself, put yourself first. There's this energy of just kind of like retreating within yourself, or just kind of like isolating to heal. um oops. Okay, so we have the dream in reverse and guide on the bottom of the deck. So uh again, there's this energy of like not really knowing exactly how to get there, um, or how something's going to happen, or how something's all going to like come into place in the way that it needs to. And so there's this energy of like needing to just trust in spirit, to know that it's like all you have to do is find a way to like heal, protect yourself, kind of like get away from anything stealing your energy or stealing your power, and the trust in spirit to like do the rest, or to help get you, take you to where you need to go, or to like bring everything together, um, in order for you to like have your dreams realized, or to like get where you'd like to be. It's like trust in like spirit or your intuition to like guide you forward. um, so with guide, we have find help. And then the dream, we have be creative. So with the dream in the reverse, it's like be creative in the reverse and find help. So, um, what I'm getting from this is like, don't try to, instead of digging within yourself and trying to come up with like any, uh, again, like any sort of like bright ideas of, uh, how you should like move forward or what you should do. It's like spirit is really just recommending that, just like retreating within yourself, or just isolating within yourself and finding a way to take care of yourself. And so yeah, right now it's like you just want to kind of isolate to heal, instead of try to come up with like the best plan or course of action. You kind of want to, one, trust in spirits to come in and help you in the situation, and then two, there could be someone specifically around you, or there could, it's like reaching out to someone else or putting yourself out there for someone else. That may be like the last thing that you would want to do, is like go to someone else or ask someone else for help, but that could be the best way to no longer be dependent on someone, or someone else no longer have so much power over you. It's like being willing to put yourself out there and let someone else like help you, instead of trying to come up with some sort of big creative idea or scheme as to how to like get yourself out of the situation like on your own. There could be someone else that could like trust you or help you. And it's like the best thing you could do for yourself is just to try to kind of like keep to yourself and not like overly try to like control the situation or take things into your own hands too much. So we had kind of similar messages in 1 and 2 with certain things like that. So yeah, you might find something interesting in both piles. Oh my gosh. Okay, 2 in spirit. So we have sexual energy at the bottom of the deck and sacred space. So yeah, this card makes perfect sense. So I'll read both of these for you. In the purest sense, sexual energy is not an energy to be expanded from you. It is a state to reside in. The first and second chakras are the root of our sexual feelings. When you use this very potent energy to manipulate people and situations, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. When you expand your life force energy from your first two chakras and incorporate the energy from your heart and your crown, you can experience the most complete and divine experience of sexual energy possible. This doesn't even have to include another person. When you can merge your connection to Creator with your connection to the earth without any filters or blocks between the two, you will experience a complete and true connection. We act as the conduit between heaven and earth, and when we can put ourselves into this energy at any given time, we are not tempted to use our sexual energy in a way that feeds our need for validation, nor are we easily manipulated by others' outputting of sexual energy. This card is asking you to look at where sexual energy is directed in your life. So that's really good advice there. That could have been some way that other people or another person was kind of like gaining power over you, right? It's through that type of energy. It's like kind of manipulating you into like fighting their battles or taking on like their demons in a sense. So it's like you thought you kind of learned this lesson, and then all at once, kind of like waking up and realizing, oh my gosh, no, I'm like, here I am doing the same thing, like, meeting another person's or like putting another person's needs above my own, or like taking on someone else's battles, giving someone else like more power and control over like the direction of my life. It's like you suddenly wake up and realize that you found yourself in that type of relationship or situation all over again, and it's like, why am I learning this lesson again, or like why am I going through this again? Whenever I kind of thought I had it all figured out, or thought I was like past this, or had like worked through this, or overcome this in some way. It's like now having to realize like here I am making sacrifices like to a fault, or kind of like putting myself last, compromising on my own needs, like all over again, or following after someone that doesn't have the right intentions for me. And then it's like you have to realize like there's some sort of like pattern here with like you being attracted to people who have like narcissistic tendencies. Um, yeah, there's just like something to that for you to kind of like heal and work through. And it's like allowing spirit to like work in your life as well to like help you through all of this. Sacred space. Find a spot in your home or office that you can access easily. Create a sacred spot just for you. This will be a place for you alone. If space is at a premium, then a shelf or a corner will do. Put here only those items that hold significant meaning to you and touch you on a deep personal level. Examples are photos of loved ones, rocks, feathers, shells. Place a candle even if it cannot be lit. This signifies the element of fire and represents the flame of Creator's love for you. The fire of creation or purification. Perhaps fire means something entirely different to you. Use this space to go to daily, even if it's just for a few moments, to ground and to calm yourself. Working this into your daily routine will bring you to a place of greater understanding. So yeah, I've just the way that it was described here is like a good first step into establishing that like safe space for yourself, or that routine to know how to draw into yourself and into your own safe space whenever things are starting to get overwhelming, or you're starting to be like, okay, I'm not sure if this is me or this is them, or if this is quite right, or if like you're kind of sacrificing your boundaries. And when we have that stable routine of, or that practice for ourselves to take care of ourselves and give back to ourselves, it's kind of like automatically helps to like even that out for us, because then we can immediately return back to that space and check in, do that check in. Is this right for me? Is this not? Is this what's going on? Am I sacrificing myself? Am I doing something for someone else? Am I doing this for the right reasons? Does this person have the right intentions for me? It's like really helps to build that spiritual routine, have that spiritual hygiene, to make sure that we're not ever like being vulnerable to like other people then taking advantage of us, or us compromising ourselves in any way here. um, so yeah, also like when I first saw this card, I just got like sometimes just that retreating within yourself, like the hermit type of energy, just yeah, like retreating within yourself and just isolating for a while. Sometimes it can be really healing and enlightening, and we can find a lot of clarity and truth just like sitting with ourselves or sitting in our emotions, even if it's kind of uncomfortable. Um, so yeah, that's all I have for pile 2. So if you watch this far, I really, really appreciate it. You can click the link in my description if you would like more personal reading. But I hope you have a really great day.